It's Q. I am about to stream here and share a little bit with you. This will probably be my last stream for 2024. So I'll be shedding and sharing. You see, I'm getting this set up right so y'all can see me. So, so yeah, I probably, of course, won't be able to see the comments, but it's all good. I can shed and share a little bit. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna practice for a little bit, and then I'll share, talk a little bit. All right, I've been doing a lot of playing here this last quarter, and it's been pretty fun, and definitely have grown a lot. My musicianship has been, well, I say my chops have been able to be kept up because I've had gigs and I've been playing, both by myself with tracks. I've been playing with bands, my band, and doing Christmas events, productions, and I had to do that production that I made. I usually do every year, where I create a medley of Christmas music, and I had to update some Christmas songs. So now I got some ideas of what I need to record for next year with a real band. And of course, I'm thinking about new tunes that I want to record, and I'm thinking about the band that I want to record them with. So a lot of things going on. I've been working on completing my new book on consistency, and I finished the 12 chapters. I'm like still looking over my 12th chapter, trying to make sure everything is right for it. Um, but yeah, it's been pretty fun growing my sound musician mentorship program. I'm still teaching, doing that like at least once or twice a week. It's been pretty busy here within the last couple of weeks because of the holidays, and we're still dealing with that because we have the New Year's Eve coming up, and then the New Year will be on Wednesday. So, but overall, I am pretty excited and thankful for the progress that I've made, and just looking forward for continued growth and prosperity, um, and I wish the same, pray the same for you going into the new year. In the last post I did, I was talking about how to be better in 2025, and I'm still thinking on those terms and just challenging myself to declare um, things that I want and to be talking about those things continually, and also focusing on those things that are going to continually move the needle, or take me to that next step or that next level, like we say. And one of the things that's very important is for you to mind your business. There's a lot of shiny objects and things that you could get caught up in and distracted with. Um, but really, you got to pay attention to your own process. And implementation is very important. Like, one of the things that I think people have said that I'm good with is like implementation. So when I hear good ideas, and when I'm when God impressed something on me, like that's good for me to do and implement, I'm really uh, focused and aggressive when it comes to updating what I do, so that it will reflect the new information that I receive. Um, because I don't know, maybe it's because being a creative musician, and we're always looking and looking for that sound or that next thing that might inspire us, and that allows us to springboard into something new, a new opportunity. And I've talked about that also with people, the people that you meet, networking and conversations that you have. You never know, um, the answers to questions and issues that you would be facing, could be answered in a conversation. And so that's why it's important to have community, and it's important to talk with people who are like-minded, and it helps sharpen you. And that's kind of like what I've been working on in this last chapter, um, where I'm talking about a support network, or you can think about a community. And so, um, yeah, so consistency. In order to be consistent, one of those components was to team up with a community or have a support network, and then within that network, it can help you in so many different ways, because um, psychologically, what you're going through, physiologically, emotionally, when you are an entrepreneur and you are a musician, um, and then you're doing YouTube and stuff like that. It's those titles by themselves. Most people aren't doing those things. Most people are not entrepreneurial minded. Most people are not YouTubers. Most people, um, you know, are not musicians. I'm saying the majority. So it automatically puts you into a place where you can feel alone and by yourself. But at the same time, there's even people out there who are musicians but aren't entrepreneurial. There's people who are entrepreneurial but they're not musicians. And then you got people who do YouTube and they end up being entrepreneurial but not necessarily musicians. Um, but anyway, me being all three of those things, I find it exciting when I do learn from those people who are entrepreneurs, who are not musicians, and I can implement things into what I do as a musician. Prime example, we uh, we had a business meeting, a powwow uh, on Saturday that I went to, and we were just talking about different opportunities and things that are available out there. And so I was saying, we were saying, I was talking with some of the guys there, we can do more of these and have them in different locations and have music. And that's been something I've always wanted to do. Because anytime you have events, when you think about um, festivals, or even you have the music and the business, and then you have food um, or coffee or something like that for people to network and enjoy the environment. So um, I always wanted to do events, you know, and like musical events and incorporate vendors and different things. Like I did a crypto Christmas event a few years back in Arkansas, and so one of the ladies who was a part of our group, she threw it, and it was like a weekend thing. And so she had vendors, and there for the crypto Christmas event, I had to play at the event, and they had presenters and different things like that, vendors. So I've met people who I still keep in contact with just from being at that event. So I enjoy that type of thing. And then, um, I think, well, from that, somebody had reached out and he's like, hey, can you play at my event? I'm doing this event on this day. Could you, play for it? So when you do go to these networking events and introduce who you are, what you do, it can present up opportunity, especially when they can hear you and meet you and get a chance to shake your hand. And so those in-person events like that really helps to um, give you that jolt of energy and that push you need, to help get you more opportunities. So if you are one and you're looking for more opportunities, more gigs, or just to learn about new opportunities outside of music or whatever, if you're a musician and you're looking for ways to earn, then I would uh, encourage you to reach out to me, hit me up, send me a message, email me at info@QuamonFowler.com. Info@QuamonFowler.com. What we're doing with my mentorship program, we are actually moving into the next year. I'm going to be talking about the importance of having a bigger vision to create an entity or something to where it can facilitate what you want to do from a performing standpoint and educational standpoint. I think the first level of operation is being able to play well enough to play gigs and being able to teach, or if you're able to communicate how to do what you do, you can teach. Um, but that's first level, playing gigs and teaching one-on-one. Then the next stage would be to uh, think bigger. Maybe you need to teach classes. Maybe you need to think about starting your own school online. Maybe you need to think about creating some type of course or digital product of some sort that can do residual. We have residual bills, so we need to have our own residual income. And so we're continually um, uh, better packaging up what we do, and you get that accountability from being a part of a community like the Sound Musician Mentorship Program. And so I extend that to you if you're interested. Just shoot me an email at info@QuamonFowler.com, or you can indeed go to shed.QuamonFowler.com. Okay? But yeah, I was going to say this, and this is what I'm working on too. A lot of, I put it out to my mentees, was letting them know how, when I was in my 20s, I applied to be a part of these different programs and things like that I participated in. Betty Carter Jazz Ahead program. I did Ravinia Jazz Institute. I did Jazz in a New Generation, and did some things at the Kennedy Center. But I was applying for things. At the ASCAP Young Jazz Composer Award, I did that. But there's still things that you can apply for even once you get in your 30s and 40s because there's grants and there's programs and funding out there, but you have to look for them. You got to know who to talk to and be connected into the right arts organizations and things like that so that you can learn of the resources that are available for the arts. And then you can start locally and reach out to your arts council or the school system, become a vendor. And so, yeah, you got to look into those things and apply for those things so that opportunities will open up for you. And the more you play and meet people, get their contact, reach out to them, just have conversations with them, and you never know uh, who they're connected with and resources that they have, but your quote unquote fans or the people who support what you do, who like and enjoy your music, um, they might have some resources that could help you and help give your career a boost, you know. But you have to open your mouth, you have to reach out, and you have to network so that you can take advantage of opportunities. So, but yeah, that's where I am here on this day. What is this? The 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st. Yeah. So yeah, we almost to the end. Well, we at the end of 2024. So definitely has been a blessing. Oh, that's pretty cool. I just came up with that off the top of my head. Okay. Okay. Whole steps. Okay. Okay. Um, so that was half steps, whole steps. So let me see what minor thirds sound like. Man. What is that? Let's see. Major thirds. Oh, this sun is blazing. That's nice. Let's do fourths. Man, okay. This is like going through the root progression. You go through the different intervallic possibilities with the line. So let's do augmented force. Ooh, wait a minute. Ooh, that's a big jump. Oh man, that's nice. I like that. Ooh, that's pretty nice. That's crunchy. There we go. There we go. Oh man, that's a good one. Yeah, practicing in the key of E. It's always good to practice your lines in a key that is one that's uncomfortable for you, so it can get more comfortable for you. And sometimes I'll just do that. Messing around in E is helpful because usually we'll play a song and we'll have to play a 2-5-1 in E, but we don't stay there long. You know, some like All the Things You Are when you get to the bridge, um, and some other songs. I don't know. It just depends. Oh, okay. All right. Or we can do. I don't know. It just depends. It just depends. So if we look at something like, and this probably don't have it in there, but it has changes. If we look at, oh yeah, yeah. If I do that, just friends in the key of G. That's good. Just friends. Just friends. Good, good, good song to work on the changes for. Um, Kind of remind me of After You've Gone. Ah, let me see. Yeah, but that's a good one after you've gone. Now, people always ask or will make comments about the language. So the language comes from transcribing. There's no shortcut to it. You have to transcribe. All right? What does that mean? That means learn stuff by ear, memorize it. So I have a formula: transcribe, transcribe, transpose, and repurpose. And if you want to get more in depth with that, you can connect with me from week to week in the sound musicianship program. The sound musicianship. Sound musician. Go to shed.commandfowler.com. All right? And that way, from week to week, you can ask me what you want, and I'll cover it in the community. We also have a feed in there, so you'll be able to go back and look at previous lessons that we've done and get the feedback you need from me and even the community. All right? But yeah, transcribe, transpose what you learn in different keys, and then repurpose it. So that means you can use a 251 or a lick that you have over a certain chord. You can apply that in another area over a different type of chord. So we talk about that all the time. Also talk about enclosures, linear lines, arpeggios, and a lot of these are identifications of certain sounds and certain devices so that we'll better know how to shed these things. When it comes down to it, this is all theory and commentary and labels that are put on the language, the bebop language, for pedagogy, for teaching, and processing and understanding. So, but in the spirit of the moment, it's all about combining what you hear, what you feel, and of course, you can only express yourself based on the information that you have. All right. And so it's like reading. The more that you read, the topics that you read about will give you more information and awareness intellectually. And so it's the same way on the instrument. Like if you're one that has only played in church, or you've only played gospel tunes, or if you're one that has only played jazz, you know, some things you're going to be limited in when it comes to expanding musician. And I'm talking about even I'm talking about context when you're playing a song which is you're needing to stretch out your like be more melodic and do more colors and ornament. Understanding of theory, you need to have some language. In order to do that, that's where you get into transcribing and even understanding modes and how that applies when you're playing over different songs. So it's good to have some knowledge of that so that you can branch out. And the same way where you have a jazz musician, someone who studied a lot of standards and knows how to play and improvise. Sometimes when they um, play a groove or something that's requiring more um, to be more lyrical and to put more vibrato or to be more ornamentation, have more ornamentation on the melody or play in a more smooth setting, they don't have that. They're more thin. They're more thin and don't really know how to use the vibrato. So it's a fine line between being able to do both and then play authentically. So it requires study either way. I came up in church, so I've always been exposed and been around to vocalists. So that's a part of my playing, just the same from being in school and even studying jazz on my own. I learned how to improvise and my vocabulary. Um, I have some vocabulary because I studied the whole spectrum when it comes to our music, African American music. From the blues to gospel to soul and jazz. That's like all of our experience musically. We hear, coming up as a kid, on the street, you hear the. I'm saying it. My reference is the '80s. So coming up '80s and '90s, you hear certain things, the rap, the hip hop stuff that was happening in the neighborhood. But then you go to church, you hear all that was going on back then from the Hawkins, Walter Hawkins, and you would hear, of course, James Cleveland stuff, the hymns, and what else we would hear. Of course, later, um, John P. Key and Fred Hammond and all of that stuff. Kirk stuff came later in the 90s, going into 2000. So, but anyway, jazz, we would hear all the smooth stuff from Najee to Dave Koz to Gerald Albright, Kirk Whalum. All of that was going on. So music was very rich. David Sanborn, Grover Washington, all of that. But also, when I started getting into straight ahead, it was of course John Coltrane. You hear about him. I heard about Joshua Redman, Sonny Stitt, Sonny Rollins, Stanley Turrentine. And the bag just got a lot deeper because I was like, oh man, this is great depth. This music has a lot of depth. So I got into it, and so Branford, Marsalis, James Carter, all those guys that were the guys back in the '90s, going into 2000. Kenny Garrett, David Sanchez, Ralph Moore, all these guys, Tim Warfield, Nicholas Payton, Josh, Christian McBride, Brad Mehldau, Brian Blades. You know, I would listen to all of these records, all of this music. So that's a part of my vocabulary. All right, so here it is, 2024, and what do I have to say? And so it's a big spectrum. It's a wide spectrum, I guess you could say. Um, and so it's just interesting now when it comes to releasing music, um, because they want you to release music like you do social media posts, you know. And so the return on investment is not like it was before, because we were dependent upon selling a physical product. Now we're selling digital products, so it's pretty interesting trying to figure out how to go about that when everybody's used to paying $10 a month for accessing all the musical archive that's out. You know, these companies have really monopolized things to where the technology and the music catalog, they've made it real simple and accessible for you as a consumer. So we as um, small business owners and, you know, entrepreneurs ourselves, we have to figure out a better way to monetize what we have. We still want to create, we still are inspired, but most of the pay is going to come now. For the majority of folks, it's going to come through um, gigs, you know, in-person gigs, still physical things. People still want to go out and hear some music and experience that live, you know. Um, but if we can create residual ways to earn from our music, maybe we would have um, a subscription of our own, so people can access all the music that we would release in a certain place exclusively. So that's where I've been thinking, and stuff is hinting, you know, clues are piling up, and in terms of what I can do and how I can do it. I got some things to look into. Um, but yeah, that's what I wanted to share and kind of go over here. It's always cool to practice and work on tunes, put them in different keys, and just go on a journey. It's really good for you. That's a countdown. Ah. Yeah. What is what is that? That's it. Ah. That second pass, I kind of get into playing the same thing. Uh, uh. That's the thing about it. It's like major thirds going down, major chords going down in major third. All right, y'all. Once I get started, I can just keep going. But yeah, good stuff. Work out on that horn. Take it out and practice. The reason why you don't sound as good as you want is because you hadn't put the time in. You got to put the time in. Spend some time and go places. Nobody should say, I don't know what to practice on. Like, take a song, learn a song, put the song in a different key. Improvise over the song in a different key. If you don't have no language, go transcribe some language. And then start trying to play the stuff you transcribe over a tune. Learn the song, work on the song, get the melody, be able to solo on it, outline the changes so you can memorize those changes. It's always something to do. And production wise, like record your songs, outline them in the dark, and then make those tracks, then play them on gigs. So it's always stuff to work on. That's what I talk about in my mentorship program. So hope this was helpful for you, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.